welcome to all. Today we're going to see about community organizing one subject. In the community organizing one subject, I'm going to deal about only two: physical activity and sleep. I'm Mrs. Kodi, belongs to community organizing department. The learning objectives for the students based on the students are: the students will be able to gain knowledge about physical activity, components of physical activity, importance of physical activity, continuum and from a role of community health nurse in a physical activity. When you are seeing these pictures, the people are doing so many activities. So when you are doing all these activities or any one of these activities, our health will become improved. So when we as a human being, we have to do all this in a day-to-day life. What does physical activity mean? It's defined as any voluntary body movement produced by skeletal muscles that require energy expenditure. Physical activity encompasses all activities at any intensity performed during any time of a day or night. What is physical activity? Actually, when you're talking about physical activity, we can do any other definitions and meaning to any organization. But when you're dealing with this in a physical activity, the World Health Organization has given the definition for physical activity. WHO, we can call it shortly WHO, defines physical activity as any bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that require energy expenditure, including activities undertaken while working, playing, carrying out household chores, traveling, and engaging in recreational things. Okay. So we can give some examples for physical activity, like going for a walk, even if you are riding a bike. Or we can call as one type of physical activity, like doing household chores also it's one of our activity. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, playing with the park. So these are all we can say, we can code, for example, physical activity. So whatever we are discussing, we have so many components for each and every one. So like this, physical activity, there are 4 components of physical fitness you need to master. Like muscular strength, muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, and body fat composition. Muscular strength. This is a power that helps you to lift and carry heavy objects. Muscular endurance. Endurance is the ability of your muscle to perform contractions for extended period of time. Then cardiovascular endurance and body fat composition. These are the 4 components very important for a person to perform physical activities. Like strength is important, muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, and body fat composition. There are so many like types, that is different types of physical activity you can have based on the aerobic, flexibility, strengthening. If you are seeing these picture itself, we can understood what are the activities like aerobic, swimming, bicycle riding, etc. And then for the flexibility, stretching, dancing, gymnastics. For the strengthening, you can do exercises, push-ups, walking, wall sits, etc. Domains. When you're discussing about the physical activity, we have our domains also, like leisure time physical activities, that gardening and yard work, household chores, active transport, occupational physical activity. Leisure time physical activity are various types of activity, different types. Use generic or activity specific questions and may ask details of activity frequency, duration, and intensity. Gardening and lawn work. Various definitions of varied intensity may range from light intensity gardening to vigorous works. Household chores. Heterogeneous tasks are there, enlarged the differences energy expenditure across tasks not balanced. Active transport, walking essential for transportation. Occupational physical activity. Diverse occupations. The change in energy expanded in green occupations over recent decades. These are the domains are related to the physical activity. Okay. So when you are talking about the physical activity, I know that physical activity we need to survive in a healthy lifestyle. Then what? How much physical activity we have to do for each person? Because as a human being, we are passing so many milestones. Like we are start from infant and we are going passing through children in toddler, preschooler, adolescent, adult, etc. So when we are passing all these stages, how much amount of physical activity we have to do? It was recommended by a WHO, World Health Organization. Children and adolescents aged 5 to 17 years should do at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity daily. How much of physical activity is recommended for adult age 18 to 64 years? Should do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity throughout the week, or do at least 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity throughout the week, or an equal combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activities. Then next, what is the amount of physical activities recommended for adults aged 63 years and older? Should do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity throughout the week, or at least 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity throughout the week, or an equal combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activity. Okay. And you know what is physical activity and what are the domains it contains and what are the types and why we want to do this. As a community health nurse, when we are telling something to the people in a community, they won't accept as soon as we do. Something we are giving information, they won't accept. So they'll ask, suddenly they'll ask, what is the benefit? What benefit I get if I'm doing this? Like this, top 10 benefits of physical activity. If you are doing physical activity, what are the benefits you will get in the sense? Improve your memory and brain function. Okay. And then protect against many chronic diseases, aid in weight management, lower blood pressure, and improve heart health. Improve your quality of sleep, reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. It reduces the cancer fatigue and improve the joint pain and stiffness too. Once you know what all the benefits of the physical activity, how will you promote the physical fitness in your community? So, actually, as a community health nurse, we are having in your hand preventive care rather than a treatment. So, as a community health nurse, we have to reassure the people through education, demonstration, participation. So first of all, we have to reassure the people in a society. So what are the issues? What are the factors you have to overcome? Once we are accepting your education, then they are automatically starting to do the guidance. Then the community will improve health. So what are the way as a nurse you will promote physical fitness in your community? Physical activity should become as routine a part of their as eating and sleeping. It's very important. They should follow as a routine one in their day-to-day life. Reassure them that sports such as cycling, swimming, basketball, jogging, walking, etc. that can promote the health. So you have to induce them. So these are all the way you have to promote your fitness. How can you promote physical activity? Be active. Make family activities happen. Know what should school fees cover and consider gifts that require activity and encourage active habits. What is the importance of physical activity program to society? Yes, it's very important. Nowadays, even the person are healthy also because of obesity. Even the obesity is indicating so many health issues in our society because there is a lack of physical activity. They may say, I'm just eating good balanced diet, then how I'm getting these health issues? They may ask. Because even I'm educated people, no, they are not doing the physical activity. That is the nil of physical activity that itself lead to the health issues. So, when you what is the importance of physical activity program to your society is physical activity or exercise can improve your health and reduce the risk of developing several diseases like diabetic, type 2 diabetes. Physical activity and exercise can have immediate and long-term health benefits. Most importantly, regular activity can improve your quality of life. Health-related components of fitness, skill-related fitness. We have two components, that is health-related components for the fitness. What are the need of health-related components? This is cardiovascular endurance. Already we have discussed the four components. Muscular endurance, strength, flexibility, and body composition. Once, if you are not having good muscle strength, what the people will say, I am not able to do because I am having a very less muscle strength. If I am walking also, I am having a pain. How can I do my physical activity? So, health-related components of fitness. These are all the health-related components for fitness. Okay, apart from health components, we have skill-related fitness components too, like power, speed, agility, coordination, balance, reaction. We have a pyramid like physical activity. We can form a pyramid for the physical activities. Every day, what are the activities we have to do? And for a week, 5 to 6 times we can do the following activities. 2 to 3 times a week we can do these activities. What we have to avoid? Like watching TV and just simply sitting and watching the TV. So these are the way we have to do and we have to maintain our health using this physical activity. Intensity of physical activities on a continuum from sedentary behavior to vigorous physical activity. Continuum. We have a continuum that's starting from continent and ending on a one. That's the continuum we are seeing. You can see that's lower to the higher. So through energy expenditure. So how we are using the energy expenditure lower to the higher. We have a sleep on hand and vigorous activity. Sedentary behavior, light activity and moderate activity. So we are passing from sleep to the vigorous activity. So these are the continuum here performing for the physical activity. The physical activity can be at any intensity, from a simple twitch of muscle to an all-out swing. For practically, physical activity can be viewed as a continuum, from sedentary behavior to vigorous intensity activity. The broad categories are sedentary behavior, light activity, moderate activity, and vigorous activity. In physical activity, the nerves are playing very important role. As we all are community health nurse, we have to emphasize to the people that you need to do some activity rather than normal working. Some people may say, I'm just my working itself walking. Why do I want to do the next portion of a walking regularly? Why? I'm just feeling tired. They may say like this. So we have to reassure the people. No, physical activity is very important. It's needed for your day-to-day life. Like we have to go for reassurance. So because our concept mainly in a community is nursing as preventive care. The nurse is standing in a center modeling physical education for purpose. That facilitating the physical activity opportunities, instilling the physical activity as a lifelong appreciation of the importance of a developmental approach, and the regular self-participation in physical activity, a source of knowledge about rules, strategies, and behaviors. Understanding the benefits, risks, and challenges of physical activity. And then they are giving best practice. Understanding, appreciating the value of and acknowledging the contribution. So these are all the way that nurse has to play in a physical activity. When you see this picture, we have so many interrelated components. Like in center, we are keeping safe, healthy individual activities. Yeah. As a nurse, we have to provide a safe environment for the people, even in a work field and in a community too. That's a safe, healthy individuals, workplaces, and communities. And the interrelated concepts are in inner circle, we have promoting physical activity in active communities, improving the prevention and management of chronic conditions, promoting sexual health and well-being, preventing injury, reducing and minimizing harm from tobacco, alcohol, and other drugs, promoting mental health and well-being, improving access to nutritious, safe, and affordable food. So these inner circle, we have these types of components are integrated with the safe, healthy individuals, workplaces, and communities. And outer circle, we have evidence-informed practice because nowadays we need evidence-based study for each and everything. Community participation also needed because the public-private partnership, triple P, we can say in shortly, triple P, that means we are allowing the people to take their own issues in and needs in their own hand. Just we are guiding them. They have to do their need or rectify their issues by their own. Then only it will become perfect. Then only they can reassure. Then only they can learn. Then only they will be educated. Next component, supportive environments and cultural change and action across the continuum, partnerships, equity, determinants of health. So these are all the outer components are interacting with each and everything and mainly focusing on safe, healthy individuals, workplaces, and communities. Okay. We can see there are four oval shaped circles on there. They all are interrelated. Mainly they are focusing on health, physical activity, physical fitness, academic performance. Role of physical activity in levels of preventions. Why there is a more important of this physical activity in a prevention aspect? Because once we are concentrating on physical activity, we are more concentrating preventive aspect. Because once the person is doing, the people and a community are doing the exercises, they can minimize the health issues. They'll be very fit. They'll be very lead a healthy life. That's only we are concentrating in a primordial prevention. Establish or maintain condition to minimize hazards to health. This whole population of the community. Whole population, selected groups and healthy individuals, they are concentrating primary prevention. Prevent the disease well before it develops reduce risk factors. It's primary care, advised as a part of a routine consultation. Selected individuals with high risk patients. Secondary preventions. Primary care factors reduction for those at risk chronic diseases. Patients, they'll be doing the prevention. Community health nurses responsibility. Once a nurse is placing a very important medicine activity, implement health education strategies, interventions and programs. Administer health education strategies, interventions and programs. Conduct evaluation and research related to health education. Serve as a health education resource person. Plan health education strategies, interventions and programs. Communicate and advocate for health and health education. So these are all the responsibility of a community health nurse. There are some factors which may affect the physical activity, like gender. Males usually taller and stronger, they'll do the physical activity when compared to the female. Drug taking. If the person is taking some of the drugs, socially acceptable drugs, damage to vital organs and reducing performance too. Stress, physical, diet, illness and fatigue, physical disability, and environment. So these are all the factors which may affect the physical activity. Next, we move on to the sleep. So far we discussed what all the what is physical activity and what are the domains and what are the types we are is in the physical activity. Then what is the benefit of the physical activity and what are the factors affecting physical activity. Sleep. Sleep is a very important part in the lifestyle of a human being. Without the sleep, the people may think tired. They are not able to do any work. When we are discussing these topics, the students will be able to gain knowledge about sleep, sleep cycle, stages of sleep, factors affecting sleep, normal sleep patterns. See the pictures of a person is seeing how nice when you are sleeping, you will become very relaxed. Sleep is a vital, often neglected component of every person's overall health and well-being. Sleep is important because it enables the body to repair and be fit and ready for another day. Getting adequate rest may also help prevent excess weight gain, heart diseases, and increased investigation. Sleep is a sleep patterns. There are many ways in vital activity of daily living as it restores and refreshes. However, there are environmental, physiological, and psychological factors that can affect normal, which nurses can help patients achieve a good night's definition. So always we have a confusion. What is the difference between the rest and sleep? Rest is a condition in which the body is in a decreased state of activity without physical emotional stress and freedom from anxiety. So it's a rest. So sleep when compared to the rest, the sleep means it's a state of rest accompanied by the altered level of consciousness and relative inactivity and perception to environment or decreased. So these are the difference between the rest and the sleep. So here the rest, body is in a decreased state. Here in the sleep, rest of is accompanied by the altered level of consciousness. Sleep is a state of loss of consciousness from which the subject can be aroused by appropriate stimuli. We can give the appropriate stimuli and we can make the people to be conscious. Coma. Then we should know what is the difference between sleep and coma too. So we should know what is the difference between the rest and sleep, and we should know what is the difference between the sleep and coma. That is, sleep we can give appropriate stimuli and make the people conscious. And coma is a state of unconsciousness from which a subject cannot be aroused. So this is the sleep cycle. You see, sleep cycle we have 4 stages. Like stage 1, it's a light phase of sleep. Non-rapid eye movement phase, you are just starting to fall asleep. You are floating and your mind begins to drift and can wake easily during this stage. Stage 2. Your heart rate will slow down, your body temperature will drop, your eye movement stops, your brain waves slow down. Almost 50% of your time asleep is stage 2. Stage 3. It's a deeper phase of sleep. Your breathing will become deeper, your body will repair and regrow tissues, and also your immune system will strengthen. You may feel disoriented if woken during this stage. Stage 4. Rapid eye movement phase. No streaming occurs during this phase. Your body will not be able to regulate its temperature. You may begin to feel hot and so these are all the stages playing in a sleep cycle. Like we have types of a sleep. Electroencephalograph include each eye movements and muscle activity are used to identify stages of sleep. The stages of sleep are classified into 2 stages. Non-rapid eye movement, which is stage 1. But we can say NREM. It has 4, that is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4. Rapid eye movement state. We can shortly call REM. REM. During sleep, non-rapid eye movement and rapid eye movement sleep alternate in cycles. Okay. Like some of the factors which may affect the sleep, like age, illness, environment, fatigue, lifestyle, emotional, alcohol, stimulants, diet, smoking. Yeah, we have to accept all these things. Even age. Old age people may say, I'm not able to sleep because of age. Some illness. If you're having stomach pain, you can sleep. No. May disturb your sleeping pattern. Environment. If the environment is very noisy, you can sleep. No. If it is so much of lights are there in your room, you will sleep. No. Fatigue. So true. When you are feeling so tired, you are not getting sleep. Your lifestyle. If you are not following a normal sleeping at night, if you are taking your dinner during your night 11 o'clock, it's a change in your lifestyle. You are not able to sleep. Emotional. If you are having a very emotional stress, alcohol. If you are alcoholic, you are not able to sleep. Diet also. If you are taking good diet, you will be having good sleeping. But if you are not taking diet properly, you don't get sleep. Likewise, factors affecting sleep: health and illness, environment, exercise and fatigue, lifestyle, emotional stress, stimulants like alcohol, diet, smoking, medication, motivation. What is a normal sleep requirements? Newborn, 16 to 18 hours a day. For the infants, 12 to 14 hours. Toddlers, 10 to 12 hours. Preschool, 11 to 12 hours. School age, 8 to 12 hours. Adolescent, 8 to 10 hours. Adult, 6 to 8 hours. Elders, 6 hours. So when we call you're a short sleeper, you're a regular sleeper, you're a long sleeper. When we call short sleepers, try with less than 5 hours of sleep. When you call regular sleepers, they need to between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. When you want to call long sleepers, average 10 to 12 hours of sleep. Normally, 6.5 to 7.5 hours of sleep per night is more important. When you are following these, life the longest, happier, and more. How can nurse promote sleep? Some of these sleep promotions interventions and schedules include establishing and adhering to a regular sleep time and bedtime for the client based on the patterns and needs. Limiting the duration and frequency of a day, time naps, and promotion of daily exercise. As a nurse, what are our responsibility? We have to overcome these problems among the people when they are going for nursing. We have to do a physical examination to check the muscle strength and any cardiac endurance and muscle endurance and body fat composition. Take a detailed healthcare history. It's very important. They should not hide any histories. Listen to patients and analyze their physical and emotional needs. Provide counseling and healthcare education to the patients. Coordinate care with other healthcare providers and specialists. Nurses everywhere help improve community health in the capacity as engaged community members. They check in on elderly neighbors, serve on local boards and commissions, and organize fundraising efforts for health-related causes. Nurse in a community may become involved if they detect problems during domiciliary visits or surgery appointments. When the person is going, like family illness going on result, or he has to do all these surveys. Where patients may mention unusual sleeplessness in themselves or their patterns. Questions about sleep patterns can also be asked to check up appointments or during lifestyle discussions. So the sleep is very important for a person life. As a nurse, we have to do physical examination. We have to observe, we have to give a counseling, we have to give a guidance, we have to ask a person to open their mouth. We have to talk freely about their own condition. We have to pick the issues in the honesty and we have to rectify the problem. So sleep, physical activity is also important for a life of a person to lead a healthy lifestyle, and sleep also one of the component in a physical activity. Thank you all. I would like to thank our principal ma'am and management too. Thank you.